Shalom. First off, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh being the Heavenly Father's true name, Yahweh Shai being the name of His only begotten Son. Giving double honors unto the elders and the apostles, a great millstone who rule well and teach well. And peace, blessings, and salutations to all you walk Him throughout the four corners of the earth, continuing to push and do the works in truth and in sincerity. All right, this is the brother Mashah Mayum from the branch out here, one of the men coming up under the branch out here in the Morning Camp. And I'm here with another lesson through the Spirit. It was just something I was thinking about that popped up in my head. It was a topic that came up in mind. The same Spirit that was working in the ancient, or should I just say, the same Spirit that was working in our forefathers, all right, as it talks about in the book of Hebrews, the 11th chapter, concerning faith. That same Spirit is working in the prophets today. And it was just something I was thinking about, just concerning, the times that we're in. All right, of course, the Spirit is out here. The video that it was a video that one of the apostles posted. I'm not sure from what camp it was, but it was a video of a woman that looked like to be an Edomite, but basically she was going in on a precept that was talking about how the Lord will sit as a refiner's fire, and basically, just going into how the Lord is going to try His elect. All right. So, this came to my mind, to add on, to the Spirit, that's out here, basically, the same Spirit, or basically, just how the Spirit that was working in our ancient forefathers to be able to endure and to get through all the things that they had to go through is the same Spirit working in the men of the Lord today. So without further ado, I'm gonna start off with and I had a few precepts written down, but of course, it's all the Spirit, whatever else the Spirit gives, and however the Spirit has me get them. I'm gonna start off with the book of 1 Corinthians, all right, because as the precept says, we'll just read it. First Corinthians chapter 14 and verse 32, and the spirits of the prophets are subject unto the prophets, and that's plain and simple, the spirit of the prophets is subject unto the prophets. All right, now that's concerning reincarnation, but the same spirit that was in the same spirit that the Lord gave to the men back then is the same spirit that He's given to men now, because ultimately, as it says here, the spirit of the prophets are subject unto the prophets, so the prophets are going to come back in their lot, which, just tying into the topic at hand, this is the same spirit that the prophets use to be able to endure, or I don't want to say use, but the same prophet that, because the same spirit, Salakia, that the Lord put in them to be able to endure, all right, and get through whatever it is they had to get through, Let me grab another precept. Let's get Sirach. Sirach chapter 36 and verse 15. All right, because ultimately the Lord is dealing with the same men, the same spirits that He We'll just read it. Sirach chapter 36 and verse 15. Give testimony unto those that thou hast possessed from the beginning, and raise up prophets that have been in thy name. All right? So the Lord is going to use the same prophets, the same spirits that He used back then to prophesy now. All right? So basically, concerning the times that we're coming in, just trusting and believing that, the same spirit, we learned from the men we learned from, all right? The men we learned under the elders and the apostles, a great millstone, all right? The Lord that's the truth. They have the truth, of course, and the Lord is dealing with them in truth and sincerity. They truly have the Spirit, and we believe according to their works. And as the precept says, if thou believe not, believe, Salakia, roughly paraphrasing, but believe for the work's sake, we know according to the teachings and what they preaching, everything that they're teaching is coming to pass, and everything is on point what they're teaching, you know. So the same, um, the same spirit, that the Lord used on the ancient prophets, He gave to the elders and the apostles to be able to prophesy and to break down these things and to be able to reveal the dark secrets, you know. If not, then then who else is it? Because these other camps, once again, these other camps are going off. These other camps are preaching things that are not according to what we learn. They're saying things that are off. All right, you know. So let's get Wisdom of Solomon. This is just another precept showing that the spirit of the prophets is subject unto the prophets. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, and we'll start at 24. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 24. For wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passeth and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness. For she is the breath of the power of the Most High, and a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore can no defiled thing fall into her. All right, so this is speaking concerning wisdom. Wisdom is as the precept says, is truly the inspiration of the Most High, and no defiled thing can fall into her. That's why wisdom is how everything works and how everything operates. Really, when you think about it, wisdom is the key. Wisdom is the key ingredient to how the world operates. Because you gotta have wisdom to know how things operate. You gotta have wisdom, to be able to do all things, pretty much. But continuing on, for she is the brightness of the everlasting light. For she is the brightness of the everlasting light, the unspotted mirror of the power of the Most High, and the image of His goodness. And being but one, she can do all things, and remaining in herself, she maketh all things new. And this is the point. And in all ages, entering into holy souls, she maketh them friends of the Most High and prophets. All right. So once again, the same spirit that was on the ancient prophets is back here today, and in a new age, entering into holy souls and making them friends of the prophets. So once again, just continuing to, as the precept says, continue down the things which thou hast learned. As long as you continue to continue in the things which you have been taught by the elders and the apostles, all right. And once again, I'm not saying anybody knows that they're exactly the elect, but once again, as the precept says, the elect are gonna put on therefore as the elect. So basically, continuing in the things which you have learned, all right, that would mean that same spirit that you following the elders and the apostles, meaning that same spirit that they have, all right, is upon you to be able to follow and continue in the things which you have learned, and Salakia to overcomplicate it, but I'm pretty sure brothers get the point what I'm trying to say, So basically, just going in, basically, it's nothing really to just basically not fearing, all right, whatever it is that you have to go through, because as the precept says, as I read in Sirach, all right, possess thou which thou hast possessed from the beginning, So we pray and we hope that the Lord has got us, and we pray and we hope that we are those same men coming back, starting with the elders and the apostles on down, all right, and brothers that have labored years on, 7 years plus, because once again, it's an order, but we just hope to be those same men coming back, So once again, that same spirit that was in them, all right, let me get that real quick. In the book of Sirach, because the elect are gonna have to go through things, but as the ancient prophets did, what was it that got him? What was it that got him through all that? It was faith. Let's get that real quick. Sirach chapter 2 and verse 10. Matter of fact, I'll just start at the top and read down to 10. Sirach chapter 2 and verse 10. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. So it's telling us plain and simple, when you come to serve the Lord, to prepare your soul for temptation. Why? Because you're going to go through troubles. You're going to go through trials for your what? Your faith to be tried. And once again, tying into the main, the topic out here through the Spirit, hey, the elect are going to be tried. Like that, the woman that looked like to be an Edomite, as she brought out within the video. All right. Sometimes the elect are going to be in a really, really tight space, or as she said, in a hot spot, to where your faith is being tried. But once again, the elect, all right, the elect, being the ones that the Lord has always possessed, like the precept said, they're going to endure. Why? Because the Lord gave them that spirit to endure. Continue reading on. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. For gold, and that's the spirit we come upon this. Verse 5, for gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Alright? So gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity, So, the hopeful elect are going to endure regardless of what. So just keeping the mentality, that, we have the same spirit, the same spirit working in the ancient forefathers is upon us now. And therefore we have that same, we have the tools and the strength to be able to endure just like they did, And I say we, once again, starting with the elders and the apostles, and the brothers on down, believe in him, and he will help thee order thy way aright, and trust in him. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall. Ye that fear the Lord, believe in him, and your reward shall not fail. Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good, and for everlasting joy and mercy. Verse 10 is the point. I'm going to highlight it real quick. Sirach chapter 2 and verse 10. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord? So that's the point. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust confounded, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? So looking at the generations of old, who were the ones that trusted in the Lord? When you read that, when you read Hebrews, the 11th chapter, that's the generations of old that is really pointing out. Because the generations of old, you had Israelites that didn't trust in the Lord. You had the generation that died in the wilderness. All right. It was only it was the next generation that actually got to get into the promised land, because that generation before them, they didn't believe, they didn't have faith, and they trusted in Egypt. So that generation of old is really talking about the prophets. I'm going to reread it again. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken, or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? So we can look at the generations of old, the ones that put their faith in the Lord, and we can see how their faith got delivered them. All right, and the Lord never failed them, and as it says, they were never confounded. All right, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? So they were never forsaken by the Lord. Moses, all right, Elijah. Who else? Isaiah, Jeremiah, Paul, Peter, all the apostles on down, that trusting in the Lord was always with them to be able to deliver them. And what? The Spirit, that's the key thing, the Spirit was upon them to be able to do all those things and to do what they did. The Spirit mixed with the faith, all right? And that same Spirit is dealing with the men of the Lord now, all right? Starting with the elders and the apostles on down, starting with the elders and the apostles on down, that same Spirit is upon them to be able to break these things down and to be able to stand out there in faith and in boldness. All right. and us following them, all right, in truth and sincerity, and not departing and teaching other things, would also let you would Salakia, us following them and continuing in the things that they taught us, all right, meaning would mean that the same spirit that's upon them is working up with us, you know. So that's the point right there, verse 10, just looking at the generations of old, and just you know meditating upon the faith that they had, on and how they endured, and how, hey, those same men got to be back today, because nobody else is teaching the correct things, and they are under the banner of Great Millstone, starting with the elders and the apostles on down. So from here, let's go to Romans chapter 15. And brothers already know where I'm going. Romans chapter 15 and verse 4. Book of Romans chapter 15 and verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope. So when we read all these stories that we read in the scriptures, not once again, I want to say these events that took place, because once again, these are real things that happened. But when we read these events, in our history that took place, it gives us comfort, and knowing that, man, those same men endured. So that means, the Lord was dealing with them, and the same power that was dealing with them is dealing with us now. So that means we can endure too. We can endure the same way that they did. Because once again, as I keep stating, that same spirit that was working with them is the same spirit that's working with the elders and the apostles and the men on down now. So from here, let's go to the book of Hebrews real quick. So like, not Hebrews, Ephesians. All right, because once again, faith. I'm not even going to jump the gun. I'm going to just let the precept speak. Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 8. Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 8. For by grace are you saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of the Most High. So faith is a gift from the Most High. You can't just give faith on your own. You can't just, really it's through faith that the men of the Lord, it's through faith that the men of the Lord are out there on the highways and byways doing this. All right, some men, starting with the elders and the apostles, all right, going like 36 years, 36 years plus and on down. All right, 20 years, 25 years, 15 to 20 years on down, that's all the act of faith, all right? Because a lot of these people out here, nobody's going to just get up and do something and want to go that long and stand out there and go through different trials and tribulations, be out there in the elements, dealing with people scoffing you, trying to get physical, carnal, fight you, hurt you and whatnot, and you still continue to go out there every single week. That's an act of faith right there, and it's a gift from the Most High, So once again, faith is a precious thing that we have right now, and we got to continue to cherish it, because a lot of these people out here, they don't have the faith. They don't have the faith to be able to do this, Even some that might even come across the camp that say they believe and whatnot, they may stand there for a little minute, but once again, as the precept says, let me grab that real quick. Let me look it up on my phone. Baba Kashab, bear with me. Book of Hebrews, chapter 4, and verse 2. Hebrews chapter 4 and verse 2. Let us therefore fear. Well, I'm just get to the point. Hebrews 4 and 2. For unto us was the gospel preached as well as unto them, but the word preached did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in them that heard it. All right. So this can apply to individuals that may hear this word. All right. Israelites at that may hear this word, and they hear and they agree, but they don't have that special ingredient of faith to commit to this thing. To continue to continue and to actually want to grow and to be a part of this thing. So it's faith ultimately that drives you to continue to go out there and to be able to do what you do. All right, and once again, going back now. Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 8. For by grace are you saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of the Most High. All right. So it's a gift from the Most High that the Lord gave. All right. To men, once again, I'm gonna reiterate this: men that He always dealt with. All right. He gave that same gift, the Spirit, mixed with faith. All right, to be able to continue and to do these things. So that when you think about it, it's very heavy. It's a very heavy, and it's a very, very it's a special lot to fall in, to be able to be a part of this truth and to continue teaching in the correct things. And you don't want to go aside, and once again go aside from that precept that says continuing the things which thou hast learned, and you start teaching your own things, because then you're going off and the Spirit's not dealing with you. So that's why it's important for younger brothers, of course myself included, to continue with the things which thou hast learned, and ultimately just to keep it simple, just keep it simple, and just continue to grow little by little, So from here, let's get Hebrews, and then we'll probably close it out. Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 4. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but basically this chapter just points out everything that I mentioned. Well, not Salakia. This chapter shows the faith that our ancient forefathers had. The ones that the men dealt with. We'll start at the top. Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report. So verse 1 says faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen, right? So, and it's saying by it the elders obtained a good report, because they didn't see certain things that the Lord was talking about, but what? They were hoping for it, what the Lord told them, and they just obeyed the Lord and went and did what the Lord commanded them to do. I'm gonna read some of the men that are mentioned. By faith Abel. I'm gonna just read on down. Through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of the Most High, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. By faith Abel offered unto the Most High a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witness that he was righteous, the Most High testifying of his gifts, and by it he being dead yet speaketh. By faith Enoch was translated that he should not see death, and was not found, because the Most High had translated him. For before his translation he had his testimony that he pleased the Most High. So that's another one of those men that walk with the Most High, and he pleased the Lord. And once again, he was doing the same things that we're doing now. All right, and he was obedient unto the Lord. I'm gonna jump to verse 7. By faith Noah, being warned of the Most High of things not seen as yet, moved with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house, by the which he condemned the world, and became heir of the righteousness which is by faith. All right. And this is another heavy one to point out, because this is the same thing. This is the same lot that the prophets right now are in. It's saying by faith Noah being warned of the most high of things not seen as yet. So we're being warned, all right, according to the scriptures. That's the Spirit of the Lord speaking. That's the mouth of the Lord. That judgment is coming to this place, and the men of the Lord, the prophets, are being warned, and they're moving with fear. What? By getting themselves right. Building up, they're taking part in in building the spiritual ark that we're in. Because once again, it's saying, as it says in Psalms 91. Let me just grab that real quick. All right. Psalms chapter 91. Psalms 91 and 1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my power, in Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. So the point is what? The Lord is our refuge. Now it's not a physical ark that we have, but spiritually we're building that ark. But what? Calling on that name, like the scriptures say, the name of the Lord is a strong tower. That's really the only defense we have right now, because you have nothing physical to protect yourself from. Esau's going to come grab you up. But what? Faith in that name, trusting in Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, all right? As it says, I will say of the Lord, in all caps, meaning the name, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, He is my refuge and my fortress, my power, and Him will I trust, So, just, tying it all in, the men of the Lord, right now have the same faith, that the ancient forefathers have, and it's that same spirit driving them to do the things that they do. And just basically, I hope it was edifying, continuing just to continue to do the work, and just trusting in the Lord onto the end, it's definitely gonna get tougher out here, but just once again having hope and faith in the Lord, because that's the main thing that's gonna get you onto the end. So with that, I'm gonna give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh being the Heavenly Father's true name, Yahweh Shai being the name of His only begotten Son, giving double honors unto the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well, and all peace, blessings, and salutations to all Yuakim throughout the four corners of the earth, continuing to push and do the works in truth and in sincerity. With that, Shalom.